Oh, Edinburgh bites hard against my Hwachas. Okay, we'll have to revisit that city in a little bit, but I've got a lot of useful things going along there. Mausoleum. So, as I've discussed, the extra engineer charge is really handy because I've now got 2 wonder rushing charges to use on the Forbidden City. Forbidden City is a really, really good wonder for us. It gives us a wildcard policy slot. We've got some really, really good policies that we can put in that very soon. So we're looking forward to that route. Still throwing in builders and traders and all the stuff into this city to improve it as much as I can. Working really well. But another golden age means we have another choice to make. And I believe for us today, the best option we could do is not reform the coinage because we're not sending many trade routes internationally at the moment, or Hicksonk Draconis. There's no need to bother settling ourselves, we're just taking other people's cities. I think it's monumentality because this means that I can use my faith to buy 6 charge builders, which I'm going to absolutely do. I was thinking about using my faith to get myself lots and lots of army. I don't think it's worth it, so we'll get this extra trader there. And then I'm going to look for the most broken or upgradable, should I put it another way, areas, like probably my conquered territories in Scotland, and I'm going to send a bunch of builders to them just to make sure that this all gets improved. All the luxuries I have are into my trade network. Yeah, I think that's a good thing to do. Scotland are going to go and settle a city, which is really frustrating, but what can you do? My army is coming south. I'm going to take this city out. I'm annoyed that my gamble didn't pay off there, leaving Scotland City just open and alive. I was really hoping I'd be able to, do something with it, but alas, not to be. Okay, wonder rushing time. This will give me 430 production, which is about half what I need. It's always worth just having a quick check to see on the map if anybody is building it. I mean, it's unlikely you're going to find anything when you only know half the map, but it's always worth checking. So a little decision making here. I could leave Scotland alone. Loyalty wise, I mean, my cities are still going to grow. There's very little for them to expand into, and Edinburgh itself, it's not the best city for me. That would be a +1 campus at best. So I think I'm going to save myself the hassle and see if they'll give me a peace deal, which they kind of will. Alright, I'll let them off. And actually, to be fair, we can have a trade partner. They don't like me at all, but they probably will buy things from me, and that's the important thing. As I say, we're after domination. I need the capitals. I don't need to necessarily wipe people out. Here is my army. It's starting to sail across the narrow sea. I have got a fleet. It is on the way. It will be supported in this attack. It's looking good. I'm happy with this so far. Now I do have invention. This gives me 4 engineer points per turn as well as 2 engineer points for every workshop. Let me just show you how many workshops I've got. 1, 2, 3 in my nation, 4, and there is a 5th which I assume is going to be in some foreign city or not. No, they're all in mine. I have 5 workshops, so that card would give me 14 engineer points per turn. It's really good. I don't need oligarchy when I'm not at war, so invention, in you get. I also don't need the raid card when I'm not at war either, so let's go for limes, I think. Oh no, conscription. Let's go conscription. That sort of inadvertently helps my economy because I'm not generating as much war expense on keeping my army sort of going when I'm not using it. Another city-state, sort of semi-protected. I'm just keeping an eye on potential friends that I could have on this continent. And Brunei might be an option. Train a cavalry. It wants a cavalry. Okay. Water park, industrial zone, line infantry, ignoring all the line infantry I've got, clearly. I've got loads of them, but not enough. There's some things I can do to make some more friends. I'm actually thinking of attacking and killing Bandar Brunei first. That'll give me a staging point, and then I can make a dual landing on Nantes and Avignon. That could work. Or I could put my spy in this city and then move on from there. I think that's what I might end up doing. I'm just making a spy. Although, I'm also now, because I've got monumentality, I'm thinking of building an intelligence agency. It's my second choice, but I don't need to generate more troops at the moment. And yeah, an extra spy capacity means that I get a bit more option to get some lovely intelligence on people. 132 and I'm on 300 science, by the way. It's looking pretty decent. France has denounced me. Oh, what a shame. What a shame. What's Indonesia's relationship like with them? They had denounced them as well. So that's good. I can declare a joint war, which is pretty cool. Someone's going to declare another aid request. That's okay as well. This would be a good city-state to invade as a landing, I think, as well. But my frigates are now pretty much there. We're just just sort of closing in. My land army is arriving almost at exactly the same time, which I'm finding delightfully satisfying. We have flight in 450 AD, Korea, everyone. And I now have Enlightenment as well. Enlightenment's going to go in. Rationalism is a really, really good card. It often does a little bit more than it says on the tin. I'm going to put that instead of Invention at the moment. Pop that in, and we've got 330. Yeah, so that was 26 science that gave me there. If we have a look, it's about half of what natural philosophy is doing, but I don't have many universities yet. So you'll see that get a lot better. You can see I'm focusing on nice food improvements in these two cities, not because I want them to be particularly big, but it works more science tiles and puts more pressure on Edinburgh. If I can loyalty pressure this city, that will be hilarious. Now that we've got flight, I want to race towards radio. Now you do have a choice. We could go for battleships, which are very powerful, as well as getting oil. That would give us more of a navy, but I just think that going for planes, it really works well. So we want to see where the aluminium is, what I can do to pick it up, all of the good stuff really. Well, I found a natural wonder and I got a relic because of it. I have some temples now, so they obviously do fit in. Lovely. We like relics. Relics are good. Relics sell for a lot. Indonesia would still buy them from us actually, which is quite cool. I need a little bit of a cash injection. Maybe I can get rid of them at that point. There's a spy. Okay, yeah, we're going to send a spy over to France. Doesn't really matter which city it sends to. It's going to take 7 turns to get there, but I'll do that to start with. That was my first spy. The second one, I will try and do some missions to try and upgrade it to a master spy. Then it will give me more diplomatic visibility when I send it on missions, but for now we're doing okay on this one. Busan's doing lovely. I need to upgrade this a little bit, but actually an aerodrome in this city would be delightful. I'll pop it over here. Tala wasn't working, but I need somewhere to be able to gold buy planes ideally. And I am going to use Bandar Brunei as a way into this continent. Now, the good thing about attacking city-states is that the range defenses of a city-state are often really weak. So we often don't have to worry about them at all. You can see their embark strength is also incredibly weak, so we'll take advantage of that as well. I've already scuttled most of their navy, and I can bring the rest of my frigates in to do some damage against the city itself, which I will. It's going to take me a couple of goes to hit through, but as you can see, I've already landed a line infantry that can, it can pretty much decimate the walls. And because I've got Akkad, I'm hitting the walls. Because I've got a siege tower, I'm doing city damage. Yeah, France's cities are actually weaker than the one I'm fighting right now. So that should give you an impression of the sort of strength I'm going to be looking at here. It's always good when France rewards you for spying by spying on France. It's like, yeah, I'm doing that. I'm actually building spies. They did attack my frigates. It's not going to work very well. And at this point, it doesn't matter if I lie because I've already taken out 2 people. It's clear I'm going for a domination victory and alliances are no longer issues at this stage. Now, I would like it if I could take Bandar Brunei with this 1 melee hit. To do that, I will attack with as many frigates as I need to clear the walls. I think if I do 2, maybe, are we closer? No, I need to do a couple more. She's reasonable about more. Fair play. But this city is now mine. And how bad is the loyalty? Rebellion in 8 turns. Oh, I've almost actually kept it loyal already. Victor, over you get. It is already loyal. This is my staging ground. And with it, I will land my army. And in it comes. Oh, this is going to be wonderful. I'm going to keep this city alive because that's where my spy is going to be, but my navy will just sort of pass itself around. I can finally also get rid of my great general to give me some war weariness reduction. It's wonderful. I haven't needed another great general. I could have made myself some more encampments. Probably would have been a sensible move, but military-wise, it's my science. The science has by far been my biggest tool, and yeah, we've been rocking. Here is Forbidden City. 1 wildcard policy slot. It's golden. Having as many policy slots really, really helps you. I've got options here. I can either put liberalism in to give pretty much 1 immunity to all of my cities. I could also go for the engineer point card, which I think I might do because wonders are really helping me right now. And actually that extra great engineer points, they were really helping. Liberalism is really good though. Oh, and that would actually keep all of my cities happy. So Oh, 14 amenities, that's such a big bonus. No, I'll go invention. I'll go invention because I think there's still hope for me right now. In fact, actually, I think Colosseum was still an option. Is Colosseum still an option or has someone built it now? No, someone ended up building it. Okay, that's fine, but I could still build an entertainment complex within range of my Pingala city. Not in this one though. This would not be a good city to do it in. Although, to be fair, I think I might anyway, just purely because the more entertainment complexes I have, the happier my cities are, the generally better they do. So we'll start to, yeah, if I've got a couple of spare districts, I will start to just put a few of these down now. Oh, military ally, would you like to go to war with France? They will for some money, quite a bit of money as well. How about luxuries? Yeah, luxury and 200 gold and they'll go to war. Perfect. This means, because my military ally is at war with them as well, I get +5 combat strength against all their units, which is lovely. And Scotland, do you want to come in as well? They actually do. Not that they would be helpful at all. I don't know why I'm even looking. But using superior navy, we're just going to sort of pull my units round. And actually, I will pillage. That's quite... I like that. Pillaging, hugely weakening the city. Naval attack onto Nantes. And it's mine already. And loyal. But did you see how easy making a navy, I mean, it just made that landing so unopposed. Like, you might think, oh, it was so easy, you didn't actually need that. But the fact that I had the navy made it easy, if you know what I mean. It's, oh, yeah, well worth it. I would always suggest building a navy. Really, really handy. Scotland just stole Auckland. Don't like that at all. That's giving me a huge amount of production in my empire. So, yeah, I'm taking that back. Thank you. And France have knights. They have a few knights. Again, not going to be enough to get rid of conscription and give myself... Oh, logistics is such a good card, but I'll go raid for now. And instead of serfdom, actually, I'm going to close the menu briefly. I'm going to quickly just use my faith to get myself a builder like so. That'll have 6 charges. Now I can get rid of serfdom and put liberalism in. That'll make my cities just a bit happier, including raid. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Come on, my capital needs to be happy. It is, it's finally neutral. That gave me so much more science. 369, 369. Haha, I like it. Next up is nationalism. That lets me form corps, basically giving me the option of having a +10 strength unit. If you thought I was powerful, then just wait. This is going to get even more ridiculous. That is a set of walls, by the way, that I prayed into existence with St. George. Great engineer that is, yeah, doing me a lot of good. And I believe, because I've now got ironclads unlocked, this should unlock. Yeah, there we go. That was an classical era admiral who just produced an ironclad for me. I'm going to make landing on this city-state. This will give me another good hub to attack the Netherlands with later. I think we might be able to just take this city out in one turn if I'm lucky. 1, 2, 3, like that, and 4? Yes, that was easy. Lovely. And with my Hwachas, I can just take this encampment down as well, which means that I can now see and attack Calais. And yeah, as discussed, we're going to declare war on this city-state. At this point, if it's not helping me, I had 0 envoys here. I might as well destroy it. Oh, look, Scotland, you can tell me about warring all you want, but this is a war game and we are having fun. Let's just quickly take care of that galley, bring the ironclad in and start pillaging for some more gold. With that gold, I can build a coal power plant in my sort of original capital, which is lovely. 580 AD, turn 140, and we have power. Power has been switched on in a couple of our cities now. We've got coal power plants popping up in a lot of other places. The workshop is now popping up in my capital. I keep calling it my capital. It's not my capital, it's my adopted capital. I'm going to build Patala Palace. That would give me another policy slot, and I think if I unlocked... Not yet, Big Ben. Big Ben is often a good one to do as well. Is Alhambra still an option? Alhambra is an option as well. Interesting. I don't think I have any cities that can build it on it. Actually, no, Ruin can build Alhambra. No, it can't because it's not on hills. We'll keep looking for that. I think that's an option for us still. And as you can see, we've started to get 3rd promotion melee units, urban warfare. These things can hit cities hard. 75 strength just from urban warfare. I've lost a lot of my bonuses actually. It's well worth keeping an eye on. I could put oligarchic legacy back on for a +4. And actually thinking about it, okay, Protestantism. Am I following a different religion technically? No. No, I'm not, because, yeah, the religion just wasn't spread to me too much. Oh no, I am actually following Islam, I think. But Wars of Religion wouldn't be a thing. Wars of Religion is a great card if you have a religion, because it gives you +4 combat strength as long as the person you're fighting is a different religion. That's a really good use of the military policy slot if you've got a few spare. The attacks on the city-state are starting to add up and do a lot of damage now. Oh yeah, that'll be a good landing, a good take for me. Looks like France is still trying to send troops to defend itself. My Hwachas are making short work of pretty much everything they send my way at the moment. Oh, and there's Paris. Yeah, we do quite a lot of damage to Paris. It's a pretty decent attack. Oh, and there's Colosseum. And Apadana. So many wonders. This is the thing, why bother building them yourself when you can just steal them? So this is a difficult choice. Indonesia is... Oh, my alliance has expired. I think I'm going to defeat the game within 30 turns, so I'm not going to renew the friendship with them, but I will just check and see if they want to do any more trade deals before they denounce me. No, they already have decided they don't like me. That's fair enough. I am an awful person. Here's my spy. It's in France. Let's go for a listening post. This means that I have one more level of diplomatic visibility over France, and now my units have +3 intel. Beautiful. Combine that with oligarchic legacy, which I'm just going to stick in now to speed up my attack just a touch, and you'll see a big old difference in how strong my troops are going to attack now. I mean, these line infantry are now, yeah, they're attacking with a lot more oomph. And city-state has been taken. Another 10 strength city. Beautiful. Don't forget, with every city I take, it just resets the 20% extra production timer on all of my cities. Very helpful. Very handy indeed. Radio. Now I do need to pay attention to this because aluminium is really handy. Yeah. Okay, right. There's at least one source in this city. So we'll go and get the builder to go and pick that up. We've got one source in this city. Hey presto. It's already mine. Lovely stuff. And one underneath this campus. So I'm going to have at least 9 aluminium. That should be at least 9 bombers. Oh yeah, that's, as we like to say, plenty. Incoming assault on Paris to steal the Colosseum, and then Calais falls the same turn. We are chomping through French territory right now. At this point in the game, gold pillaging takes on a new significance. I need to collect about 2,000 gold? 2,240 to buy in a bomber. I want to buy in as many bombers as I can, so if I can gold pillage, I will. So we're keeping an eye out for districts, anything that shows a sign that I could, in theory, pillage it. Like, that is what I'm after here. There's an admiral that gives me just a flat +3 bonus to all of my naval units. Lovely. This engineer is the most pointless, unfortunately, but we'll take him. Culture bombing when I get industrial zones. Yeah, really not a very exciting one. There's the aerodrome finished. I'm going to get this city to actually build some planes when it can, but it's such a slow job building them. It's the gold purchasing. It's the gold purchasing I really, really want. 432 gold. That's what I'm talking about. That's the sort of pillage that we need to survive and thrive around here. That's the sort of pillage that gets us a nice bomber. It's a trader that's going to walk onto my line infantry next turn as well, so that's quite handy. But as you can see, France is now on 3 cities. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to leave this city alone. It's got my spy on it. It's making me more powerful. I don't need to take it. It's fine. Rotterdam, Leiden, yeah, just a little bit too far away from the coast for the Dutch, who normally settle on the coast. They're being incredibly flighty. Probably sensibly. If they were closer to the coast, I'd be able to just sort of walk all over them, but alas, not today. Mogadishu is the city-state that I want, however. Now, where is Mani? It's still in Akkad. I don't think... Oh no, actually Chitatra could steal it if I moved Mani away, so I'll keep Mani there for now. We've got Patala Palace on the way. That'll be nice. Yeah, my naval attack on that coast will have to just wait until we've got advanced flight, and then we'll go through to refining. That'll be a really quick one. And you can see 400 science by turn 145. We're gaining easily 100 science every 100 turns at the moment. And we haven't even got research labs. Research labs are the best bit. Oh, an Indonesian city. That's nice. Who have I got more gold deals with? I've got more gold deals with Indonesia. So I think I'm going to go for the Netherlands first. But there is a lovely... I don't know why I made my siege tower there. That was a really silly thing to do. There's a free city there that France once owned. If I kill France or let France get knocked out of the game and then liberate it, that's worth 300 diplomatic favor, which I can immediately sell if there's still somebody alive to, you know, buy it from me, so that could be fun. You know a game is going well in Civ where you have to preface something with, if something's, you know, if there is still somebody alive to buy it from me, it'll work, but what are you going to do? There's advanced flight, there's nationalism. Wow, two very handy military things right there. So we're going to go along the bottom of the tree now to refining. This, oh, where's Dust Storm? Where's that going? Northwest. Oh, as long as it's not going south, I guess. But yeah, both of those policies are going to massively help me. And zoom, Bordeaux's been taken. France, do you want peace? I'll give you peace. For all of your gold. Some of your gold. I'll take peace for some of your gold. Now that I've got nationalism, we're going to go for water parks. I need amenities. I need to focus now on making every city happy at the bare minimum. That will give me a 12% science boost everywhere, which helps when I've got a minus 10% boost at the moment because nobody's happy. Yeah, it's one of those empires. We're all sulking because, you know, unhappiness and war. Keep the city of Dundee. Oh, the glorious city of Dundee. Yes, I feel great affinity with it. I will keep it into my empire. Oh, beautiful. And we get James Young, which reveals oil without the usual requirement, as well as giving me a couple of inspirations. All good stuff. Electricity boosted, chemistry boosted. Chemistry is a really good boost. That is research labs. Yeah, we're doing good at the moment. I'm getting a couple of industrialized coal power plant cities to run some industrial age projects or industrial zone projects for me. I want to get wonder builders. We are going for all of the builders that give us wonders, that give us policy cards. Anything that gives us policy cards. That's the main objective for me at the moment. And culture. I am genuinely trying to get a little bit of culture now, and we do have quite a few great works of art. So it's worth just double checking actually to see whether people are going to sell them at a cheap price. I don't think anyone's really got any left. Not many have been put into this game. This has been a warlike game. Oh, that's Rotterdam. It's just gone to 54 strength. Interesting. I'm going to actually start to fleet up a couple of units now. Let's make sure that my units are relatively tough and we've got a bit of biting power. Well, Toulouse is not going to do very well. Look at that. I take half the city's health off in one attack. Wow, that's insane how effective that was. I could liberate it for some diplo favour, but I'll lose it so quickly. I'm just going to keep the city. It's worth it. Victor, in your pop to Toulouse. Thank you so much. And that's Bologna. That's a city-state. I'm going to go and liberate it, and that'll give me another in fact, it will give me my first scientific city-state. Oh, that's a big deal for me. Extra science for every library and university I have. I have a few of those. That's a big one. I think I will go to war with you. It's actually a pretty good time for me because Bologna's borders are just there. Literally just there. Raid, good. Craftsman, good. Natural philosophy, good. Rationalism. There's probably a point where I could flick to some more universally useful cards, but right now this is all really good for me, so I'm gonna keep it. Keep everything we've got going. Oh, Batala Palace is almost done as well. But yeah, we can see Bologna is just looking mighty attackable, and so we shall attack it. Beautiful. I have finally generated enough gold to use my surplus to buy a bomber. Bombers are Airforce. Airforce supersedes all Navy and Army. And if I bring that to the front line, I will be able to use its amazing 110 bombard strength to attack cities pretty indiscriminately. I mean, look at that. This will melt the wall and take over half of the health of the city in one go. Rotterdam, it's not going to show me, but like that would pretty much get evaporated. Yeah, a CAD would lose its walls in one go. I mean, it's really strong. And because we're Korea, it's really technologically advanced as well. One thing I'm also going to do in my science city is try and build the world's worst university. I feel filthy every time I build it, but it does give 20% extra science to the city, which is really good. It's a shame. It's a shame, but you know, we have to do it. This is probably my worst farm tile, so I'll put it there. Factory will finish, then the university itself, followed by the power plant. That would give me 6 production. It's a pretty good power plant. Maybe I'll buy that in. Although my gold probably should be saved for bombers, so we'll wait on that one for now. But you'll see, I'm almost now at 15 population in this city. That's a good thing. 15 population means that rationalism will start to give me the second half of this card benefit, another 50% 100% on science buildings. At the moment, as you can see, libraries are giving me 4.5, universities 9. That'll go up even more next turn. It's at this time as well that I'm going to start a colonial war with the Netherlands. You always want to use a formal war where you can, or sorry, a cursus belli, and a colonial war gives you only half grievances. It's a very good one to take where possible. Look how much stronger my knight is, by the way. I've got marauding, I have armor piercing. It's really handy. I just need a spy into the Netherlands and we should be even more sorted. City-state emergency. At this point, the world is probably going to declare war on me, but if you're doing a domination victory and you don't trigger at least one city-state emergency at some point, you're doing something wrong. Actually, the only people that want to go to war with me are the people already at war. Scotland and France were like, you know what, we've had enough of fighting Ursa. We don't want this anymore. And honestly, I don't blame them. Oh, my own great work of writing. That's handy. I think that was generated because obviously I've stolen so many great works of, theatre squares. That's why I've got that one. And yeah, look at that. I can just pop it down immediately. Now, I've just realized that this city is able to produce a bunch of wonders very quickly. It's because it's got a coal power plant. I might as well take advantage of that. A 3-turn oracle is quite frankly ridiculous. That's awesome. And this city has scientists and engineers in it, so it would generate a lot of extra great people points. I could do that in theory in my Pingala city, but I'd rather spread that benefit. I'm also going to start spreading the love a little bit in terms of these trade routes now. I like the population being high in this city, but I want that rationalism bonus to spread to as many as possible. So actually cities like this with reasonably high population, I will treat them to a few city-state trade routes. I've got quite a few trade routes now. It's good to keep a gold per turn coming in. It's good to keep pillaging. Like, all of these things are good, but again, it's whether or not standing by and pillaging or going for the more sort of blitzkrieg-y style of fighting is worth it here, and I think momentum is still key. I think especially with this city, the most important priority for me is liberating it. Yeah, Bologna, it's a scientific city-state. That would be a huge science boost for me, and I could use all the boosts that I can get, so I think that's what we're going to do. I do have a raid card in. My faith income would be used to get settlers and builders. I could start to settle a little bit. I don't think, 320 faith for a settler. It wouldn't be too high. Lots of oil that I could go and use. We've already spoken about the coal over in this area. Quite a few opportunities, to be fair. Maybe, the thing is that these are people killers. These Hwachas, they don't do a huge amount of damage to the cities, so I'm tempted to just pillage with this one, get 220 faith. I could even use it to get great people, to be fair. Yeah, I'm going to pillage with this one. I think that's a fair move because I've got all of these units in. They're going to come in, and I think we can probably, I at least can siege the city this turn. So that's like that, and then that, you see, I think actually we can take the city this turn. Look at that. Perfect. And we will liberate it. Oh no, Bologna is French. It's spelt differently, isn't it? It's French Bologna, not Italian. My mistake. Okay, well, I'll keep it then. That's fairly simple. That should keep the loyalty in that city a little bit nicer. Perfect. It's all looking good. What a fool. Confusing my European cities there. What can you do? Still producing unique districts? Remember, get those libraries in. It doesn't matter how late into the game you are. The extra great person point you're getting from your Pantheon means they're worth 2 extra points per turn. It's well worth getting them in. Plus, it's those little incremental increases in science you're using to really push that forward. You might as well get the benefit of it. I'm also, culture is a big thing. I am working on culture now. I want to get well into the culture tree. I'm going to use my 9 envoys I've picked up to, first of all, take back Kandy with 1. I like to keep my city-states on side where possible. And Mogadishu, I'm going to send 7 over to Mogadishu and hope that this will give me a bit of visibility. There is a bug in the game where sometimes if you take over a city-state and you're at war, it won't give you visibility. But this case, it did. And this gives me a lot more information about the Dutch as well as the Indonesian capitals. And actually, you can see there looks to be a direct sea connection over to Indonesia. So I might be able to actually, it's quite a long time before they'll get there, but there is ice cap blocking me from going this way. I might be able to move my frigates in the other direction. Let's send my navy on a long journey. Go and see if we can use it. That'll sort of turn up in about 10 turns. You never know. I'll probably have finished the game by that point, but we'll give it a go. Oh yeah, and Rotterdam, not the strongest city. Oh, that was so close to being a conquer. Oh no, that's going to give it. It was a good roll of damage there. Rotterdam's taken before the walls could be put up. Perfect. Now I want to bring my bomber to the front line as quickly as possible. I think that's a bit far to stretch it, and looking at getting my bomber over, it doesn't have the range to move across the sea. I think though, if it was in Dumfries, it would. The range of a redeployment is twice its normal attack range, because if you think about it, with an attack range, it's got to fly out, bomb, and then have the field to get back. But if it's just redeploying, it doesn't need to come back. So it has twice as much fuel. But that'll easily be able to make the jump over. And then we have the choice. Do I bring it to the Indonesian front line or the Dutch front line? I think the Dutch will capitulate quicker, and I've got less army down there. So that is where I'm going to focus. I'm going to vote that double scientist points pop up, but really we don't have the voting power to influence this at all. I'll also give myself culture bombs. We didn't really use it too much last time around. What are you going to do? Oh, these rivers keep on going for it. I need to build dams. Dams are very expensive though. That's the problem. No great engineers. Interesting. Oh, well, we wouldn't have been able to outvote that anyway, but that's an interesting play. But yeah, dams are needed in these cities. You can see I can build them, but it's just a case of having the production. I do have a couple of encampments. We could start to get some military engineers and rush them down to speed these projects up. But look, 22 turns on a dam. It's just too much. Too much. Now, the one thing that you should always keep an eye on is banned great engineers. You can still get them, but you just have to use faith and gold. So I will just pick up Da Vinci because they were really good. And actually, I could use some faith to get myself an engineer to rush wonders. That would be pretty handy for me. So we'll keep an eye on that. 2,500 faith is not a lot when you're not really using it for anything else. There is a 54 strength city, and it's got fairly decent walls actually, so maybe my bomber would be better over in that direction. Let's just see the redeployment range where it can get to. No, it can cross the sea. It's going to be another turn before it gets to the front line. I'll move it to Nantes just to give myself more options, but maybe Rotterdam is pretty okay. I don't know, we'll see. You can see this knight is just going to get blown to bits by my Hwacha, so that's fine. And there's an unguarded 4 population city up in that direction, so we're just going to go and investigate over there as well. That is a defendable city, and that's 12 population. I think, you know what, that really what we're saying here is that I need multiple bombers. When in doubt, just build more. Yeah, the game is really deciding to punish me now for not having more dams in. But what are you going to do? Patala Palace. 1 diplomacy policy slot, 1 diplomatic victory point. When you're fighting, you need as many governmental just increases and bonuses, anything that's going to give your empire a little bit more joy and power. And a diplomacy policy slot later into the game makes a huge difference. Namely because they tend to be really good, and you tend to need more of them than you'd think. Colonial taxes, this is going to give me 30 production and 27 gold. Or I can take Raj, because I've got so many city-states I'm friends with. 12 gold, 12 science, 12 culture, 12 faith. And I've got extra 2 gold on city-state trade routes. That's actually quite big for me. It'll generally increase all my stats. Did you see that, by the way? I was on 330 science before my cards kicked in. With the immunities and the science that I'm gaining, that is the sort of benefit that my cards are giving me. It makes a huge difference. Let's unlock now refining. That'll give me battleships. It'll let me get oil. Then I'm going to go for chemistry to unlock research labs. And a huge slam attack into that city. Bam. Oh yeah, that's powerful. Even my man-at-arms can do some decent damage, although doesn't necessarily need to right now. And you can see, look, having the siege tower there, as I said before, with a CAD breaking the walls and the siege tower ignoring them, you're effectively doing double damage on your attacks. It's really good. Probably actually works out to be more than double damage thinking about it. Whereas this doesn't have a siege tower. So look, I'm blowing up the walls, destroying them, but that would have done damage in a regular situation if I'd had siege equipment there. So just something to keep an eye on. I am going to say that I would like my bomber in Bologna. Let's go for that. I think I can drop with a range of 10. It's a pretty decent place to be based because it can attack a couple of Dutch cities as well as a lot of Indonesian cities. It's sort of the best of both worlds. Oh, so close to knocking out that city. Again, momentum is key now. We just need to keep hitting the Dutch before they can build a resistance. So Da Vinci provides all workshops with 3 culture. This is going to be big for me because I have a lot of workshops. I would be getting a lot of great people ones. And actually thinking about it, oh no, I don't don't have it still in. I was thinking if I still had invention in, I should take it out, but luckily I had already taken it out. But here we go. Let's have a look. One charge of Da Vinci has gone from 203 culture to 220, so that's worth 17 culture, and I'll use it again. So he's worth 34 culture just by taking that great engineer. Brilliant stuff. Oracle. I mean, this means that I can actually use my faith and have a discount. 25% less faith needed for a great person, with engineers blocked out as they are. That's really handy for me. It sort of wasn't even what I wanted, but yeah, that's really good. It actually should give me 2 more scientist points, 2 more engineering points as well. And look at all these cheap wonders that I can build. I'm going to go for Colossus. That will give me an extra trade route and a little bit more gold. Perfect. And, oh, there we go. A 3 bank and a market in any district that I put him in. I'm just going to double check to see if I've got any commercial hubs that don't have markets. You never know. There may be 1 or 2 popping up around, especially in my conquered territory. There we go. Bandar Brunei actually didn't have one, which is ridiculous. So, yeah, we'll just teleport. That'll give me a good chunk of gold per turn. Lovely. One thing I've been doing as well is these 2 cities that have been struggling on loyalty. Behind them, the closer city of Bordeaux, I've been chopping down wheat fields and anything that gives food on a chop, because the population has been growing. That puts pressure on these cities, and now they're no longer rebelling. Just a really handy little tip if ever you're worried about loyalty. So 1 and 2, and Jambi is mine. Perfect. I've got this city to the south. I'm just thinking actually I'll use this man-at-arms to decimate the walls, then my Hwacha to do some damage, and oh, the line infantry won't kill it this turn, but it will next. I'm going to treat my bomber to a raid on this newly built wall that has been sprung up to try and protect this city. Alas, the wall is now gone, and my knight can move across instantaneously. My knight actually I'm going to use to pillage other things. So we'll use my line infantry to take the city, and then my knight can go and have just a little look-see into this land. Harlem, 8. Not protected, within bomber range, I think. So that's handy. Refining. We can now improve the oil that's been scattered around our land. I want science. We're gaining like 20-30 science a turn at the moment, but it could be higher. So we're going to go for chemistry. Build 2 banks, build 2 neighborhoods. Those are the 2 that I need to do. I think building 2 banks is quite tough, unless I've already done it. I mean, I'm admittedly going to get 1 bank now, but I think that's my first, isn't it? Yeah, I don't have a second bank. So at this point, my science is so high, I don't really want to wait to try and utilize it or optimize it. Build 2 neighborhoods. The only thing about this one is whether or not the AI has been building neighborhoods for me. If they have, I'll end up taking that policy before I meant to. The Dutch are on the best culture, so maybe they'll end up giving this to me accidentally. I'm not sure. Anyway, look, Harlem, as said, it appeared. I can bomb it immediately. This is why having a strong air force is so important. Knight immediately comes in, takes the city. Before they even saw me coming, it's already fallen. Looking at Indonesia's stats, they still have 35 population, and I don't see much of it here, so we've still got some pretty big cities that we're going to have to go through. My line inventory is looking worse for worse. I'm just going to take a turn or 2 to rest it whilst I pull my siege equipment forward. I say siege equipment, my ranged equipment forward. No harm in waiting just for a second. Plus my bomber can actually start to think about attacking the city next turn, so that's doing pretty good. Yeah, my army's looking pretty spread thin. I'm relying solely on technological advantage here. I have 46 techs versus 30, so I have a 16 tech lead. When you actually think about it, there are only ever 8 techs every era, roughly, so I'm 2 whole eras ahead of the AI. It's pretty brutal. Well, my spy has now been unlocked as well because France ended up falling to loyalty. It's okay, we don't mind that. It gives me a couple more luxuries that I can now trade. They really weren't giving me a huge amount. And the best bit about that is I actually don't have to worry now about the loyalty or the grievances from killing them myself. I'm going to send my spy over to Amsterdam. Oh, sorry, to the Dutch, into Arnhem. Amsterdam is not where I'm sending them. That's the city I'm going to be attacking. I feel like whilst my army heals and recovers and gets itself sorted, I'm just going to focus on moving my bomber around and attacking the Dutch for a second. So let's move over to Haarlem. Gives me a bit more visibility. I want to take out one of the opposing sides in this fight. I don't want to have to fight everyone at the same time. Oh, and natural history as well. This unlocks zoos, aquariums, water parks, all of the buildings that work on a fantastic radius basis. So this is something I do want to be working. I'm working industrial zone logistics in that city. That's a really silly thing to do. There are no points available at the moment. Oh, the great engineers, that's really silly. I think a water park in one of these cities is going to do really well. Seoul has no districts, so I will put a water park down in this city. I think that works really well. I don't have the golds to buy any tiles, unfortunately. So instead, let's just have a quick think about this. How is my cities in terms of range? Yeah, actually there is an entertainment complexes, but they're not in range of my Pingala city. So I will put an entertainment complex down in this city. The range of it will be 6 tiles. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this tile will get all 4 cities in. So I will pop it down there. And I'm also now going for civil engineering. The next stop though is to go mobilization and then fascism if we need the combat strength. I probably don't. Or democracy if I want my trade routes with city-states to be really, really good. That is something that could be quite handy. Darwin, 500 science for each natural wonder here or adjacent. That's a big science boost if there are some big natural wonders on the map. You're looking for multi-tile wonders to make the most of this. This is a 2-tile wonder, so that would be worth 1,000 science if I popped it on one of those tiles that's adjacent to both. Moriyama, however, is a 3-tile. So the question is there anything better? 2-tile over in that direction. Oh, and the hollow. The hollow actually is a 4-tile wonder, so I will go and bring my scientists down in this direction. That if I can do that, Darwin will give me a lot more science. I think it's worth the gamble. I don't really need the science, so it's almost a sort of little competition for myself. 1 bomber strike, and yeah, look at that. It just melts the city away, and then I can take it immediately and keep pushing on. Amsterdam. I mean, Amsterdam is looking like it might be next. This line infantry is now promotion level 4. That means they can double attack. That's brutal. With a CAD, yeah, that's really, really effective now. As you can see, Amsterdam only has 4 population. Not entirely sure what's been going on here, but yeah, that's pretty brutal. Yeah, we've already knocked the walls down. 1 more bomb rush and we should be able to take that city on very soon. Oh, we can just walk through this encampment. Okay, yeah, my line infantry on the Indonesian front have they took 2 turns to heal and now they're charging forward again. I don't really need any reinforcements on that front. They are brutally effective and that's working well for me. Do you see that river? I just fixed that. You might even be see up, the builder's still there. Colossus gives me another trade route. Oh dear, what's the point? What's the point in even trying to fix these things, eh? Oh dear. I might actually keep this trade route in this city because if it can get to 10 population, I'll get another district and I can build a water park here. So that could be pretty handy. I would really love it if I could put public works in, but I just don't have the strength. I mean, all my cities are now unfortunately unhappy. I would love it if I could keep my cities happy. I'm losing 10% science everywhere. So there's probably about 40 to 50 science in my empire that is just going to waste at the moment. Very frustrating. More amenities. This is always going to be the thing when you have so many cities. And I went oligarchic legacy to give myself the combat bonus. If I'd gone classical republic, I would have had another card that would have given me a little bit more. So, you know, it's my own decision making here. I think that I could have had more amenities, whether the science or the combat strength is more important to you. I mean, looking at my units here, the combat strength it's pretty effective. So yeah, I don't think I've taken the wrong choice. Oh, it's so powerful. I think, yeah, the speed of conquest is more important here. One attack on Amsterdam with the bomber, and the knight just walks in. There's that capital. I just need 1 more, I believe. Yes, I just need 1 more capital. This one. These zoo buildings are going to help though. Zoos give 1 amenity to all cities within 6 tiles, and I need them. I need 35 extra amenities to get my nation back on happy terms. That's going to be really, really tough. I'm going to build Machu Picchu, 5 turns. I like the fact that no one's built it yet. I don't have too many districts next to mountains, but for instance, my capital, this industrial zone will go to a +6. So that is actually pretty effective. Yeah, I'll take it. So thinking about this, it's turn 160. We're going to finish this game way before we get into the sort of late stage nukes and other things, but you can see just how quickly the science snowball can take effect if you are lucky. There's a great general. Movement for Renaissance and Industrial Era units. That is wonderful because Renaissance and Industrial Era units Well, that's like my line inventory, my Hwachas. Yeah, that's very effective for me. Oh, look, I've already got the era score for getting a kill next to them as well, so that's pretty awesome. I'm just, you know what? I'm going to let my bomber travel over here, so I'm actually going to just pillage for faith, pillage for gold, just to, you know, give myself a little bit of economy whilst I take that city. No harm in doing that, I don't think. And now, because I need just for one capital, I'm going to move over there, and now I can bomb the capital next turn. Things we could have thought about. Right, so I'm thinking about extra little pieces of guidance that would have worked had this game gone a little longer. Firstly, I absolutely would have kept an eye on the snowy land above. Had I needed to go longer into the game, I would have absolutely gone for this wonder, Amundsen Scott. 20% science, 10% production in all cities. Really good, very weird, but you have to put it next to a campus in the snow with a research lab. I also was thinking about going for research labs very soon. This would have been very, very, very useful because research labs would have been 8 science, 12 science when powered in most cities with rationalism. Quite a big bonus. But also don't forget, we would have got Einstein. We would have got Einstein very soon as well, who would have given extra science for research labs as well. This is an extra luxury for my capital. I'll go just use it on that, it's fine. Oxford University would have really helped. I probably would have ended up going democracy this game, not for the trade routes, but for New Deal. 2 amenities to all cities works out amazingly well when you've got so many cities, because that would basically make me happy and it would boost my science like crazy. Don't forget as well, we had International Space Agency that would have popped up. That is a bit of a late game science boost, but when you've got 300 culture, you'll get there fairly quickly. I also, if this game would have gone on longer, or if the AI had been a little bit more technologically ahead of where they are, I would have done more pillaging and used that gold to buy more bombers. I only have 1 bomber, but you can just see, Airforce is so strong. Just the presence of 1 bomber means that I can claim a guaranteed city per turn. It's so strong an addition, and you really can't make that less of a thing. It's so powerful. Air Force will win you the game. I'm just giving up on Darwin. I'm going to move into the other city. All things we could have considered. I think in terms of extra wonders, Kilwa would have been much more of a priority. Kilwa's down here in machinery. Had there been more scientific city-states? There wasn't, so I didn't really go for it. And a little bit later, we would have started picking up the Estadio, stadiums, ski resorts, aquatic centres. All these things give pretty much endless amenities, so that's handy as well. I could, in theory, have started to use my faith if I'd got, where are you, conservation, to make some naturalists. Now those are national parks, and national parks give you 2 amenities in the city you put them in, and then I think 1 for the adjacent 4 cities, I think. It's basically 6 amenities every time you do it, and I mean, you can see I have a deficit of 35 amenities, so I would have needed to have put 6 parks down, but would have been really, really handy. Still taking Dutch cities left, right, and centre. Every time I do, it resets the 5-turn count on the Warlord's Thrones. My cities are still gaining 20% extra production. It's lovely. The line inventory, it charges forward. It charges forward with great mirth and happiness, whilst the bomber flies overhead and doesn't quite disintegrate the walls, but I mean, that's pretty much melted them to nothing. So yeah, I don't feel like Indonesia is going to be able to stop this. So I'll settle for 1,500 science. It's still worth, 2 turns worth. I mean, it's still pretty awesome. So there's chemistry we'll get next turn as well. Replaceable parts meant that all of my farms get 1 food for every adjacent farm, rather than every 2 with feudalism. So the food in my empire is now crazy. At this point, you should be focusing on going for rationalism. You want all of your cities to be 15 pop, and if you have a look, with the farms that I've been putting down, that will not be a problem. Like, housing is probably the only limitation here, and you've got sewers, you've got more farms, you've got neighborhoods, there's all kinds of stuff you could put down to make sure that will be a reality. I'll take 1 more bomb attack. Oh yeah, I mean, bam, the city's pretty melted. And there is the final capital for me to take. That is a turn 162 victory, a domination victory, 1010 AD. It's before 1060. Battle of Hastings in the UK hasn't even happened. The UK has yet to be invaded. And we have the entire world. I have research labs, I have bombers. Korea, everyone. Korea. Totally balanced, totally, absolutely not overpowered at all. Beautiful. I'd like to remind everybody that I did put the save file for this game up on Discord, so I really suggest if you've enjoyed the series and you think you've learned something, go and take the save file, put it on your computer or even the seed details from the beginning of the game and play along. Why not? What have you got to lose? You'll probably learn that Korea is a really satisfying and really good civ to tackle deity on, to really get domination, to get science. Thing is, I could have at any point stopped fighting, especially after I took Mali and especially after I took Scotland. I could have left the other continent alone and just scienced, did what I wanted to do, focused on amenities, on getting universities up, on research labs, and I could have gone for a science victory. That would have been a turn 200 science victory easily if I'd done that, and especially if I'd sent out some privateers or submarines and just done some pillaging. Indonesia had all the districts on their coast. It would have been very easy to do. The trick with this actually is that your score should be really low because you won really early into the game. But look, buildings constructed, as I started to produce more, I mean, this is what sets you apart from the AI. It's actually building infrastructure in your cities. Cities captured. I didn't actually start war until turn 90, and waiting, not going too early, is probably the biggest piece of advice that I can give you. I actually settled the least cities. Once I had my core cities, I didn't bother with any of the others. I just stole enough and I had everything I ever needed, so that was quite handy. Culture-wise, I worked on it. I tried to make sure I wasn't like, I didn't have nothing, but culture wasn't really my priority. Science, on the other hand, I took the science lead just after turn, over here, like just before turn 70, and by the time, like you can see the point of which I put in, that it would have been the double science adjacency card, and we would have just gone boom, 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 as I started to build that up. If I'd had scientific city-states in the game, we probably would have had maybe another 100, 200 science by the end of the game. Would have been massive. Total religions founded. Good. It's always good to see that. Wonders. Look at that. I didn't bother with any wonders until the end of the game. You don't need wonders to win. Wonders will make a strategy even better, but you should play deity assuming you're not going to get any wonders. I think that's the best piece of advice for that. The deity AI can go a little bit crazy. The other thing I just wanted to remind people was, again, I didn't use my capital as my science city. I decided pretty early on that this city had more growth potential, had more flat plains around its campus, had better access to the sea. I made this my Pingala city. Often is quite useful to do that. My capital was still useful, it just wasn't as useful. And at turn 162, I now have pretty much unlimited access to building whatever I want. Amenities would be what I'm focusing on now. As you can see, I probably at this point could make easy peace with the AI. If we just quickly run through this, I could take a pretty decent gold deal from Indonesia. Let's just quickly seize this city from the Dutch before they get any ideas about it. But yeah, now I could again make peace with the Dutch. Similar thing, give me some gold. Yeah, perfect. And then we can start going, hey world, let's have some deals. Flood me with gold. I will sell my resources like horses. I'm getting so much stuff. I don't even care if the deals are particularly good for me. I've now got a lot more gold. Look at that. That's industry. That's industry building numbers. I can focus on trade routes, I can focus on amenities, I can focus on getting cities up. At this point, I probably would have picked up some war weariness from all of my fighting as well. Yeah, there's -3 in that city, which is a bit of a problem. So my cities were becoming artificially unhappy through the introduction of war weariness. -1 in that city. Actually, it wasn't too bad. I wasn't really taking losses, and I did use my, colonial wars and things like that to make it better. So yeah, it wasn't too bad really. But there is Ursa's Overexplained Korea Guide. I really hope you enjoy it. Remember, I've got Coffee, I've got Patreon. If you want to support the channel, there's a tip jar as well on Coffee. And remember to come to Discord to chat about the series. And if you ever need any advice on Civ strategies or things to do, that's the place to come and ask people. It's a really lovely community and we all learn together. Right, on to the next video. I'll see you all next series. Goodbye. And finally, a very special shout out goes to Glorious Petra, I Am Salty Tech, Matthew Wilkinson, Paul Coffey, Doughboy91, Sean Crites, Scott Stratton, Major King Kong, Davalex, Skeptical Bear, Kroger Brand Trail Mix, Alex Noob, Cinnamon Beard, Portland, Petra Ryan, Matthew Hatch, Amir EC, Henry, Rom88, Radiatore, Private Selection, Genoa Salami, Boy Zorro, Callum Billy, Garrett Gowan. Thanks everyone!